We live, finally, man. You've tuned into the Power of Ownership podcast. This is your host, Brandon B. Dixon. With my guest host right here, Steven Contreras.
How are you guys doing?
Oh, man. Coming to you a little bit later Sunday. Actually, we got here early and we just went down a nice rabbit hole of a 2 or 3 hour build that, we got a lecture coming up that we're co-hosting. So we just went in building and on some real deep metaphysical and esoteric topics. So pardon us for coming in a little bit late.
Some deep philosophies, right?
Right, more than deep. So, it was a good build, but we're going to keep the podcast a little bit short. We're not going to keep it too long on this Sunday. For those who are first tuning in, I want to introduce myself. My name is Brandon B. Dixon. I'm a published author. My book, Sales, the Nucleus of Any Profession, is out right now. Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, all the outlets. I'm a mortgage broker and a serial entrepreneur, amongst other things. I have my micro vlogs going on as well. APE, All Positive Energy Daily. Tune into my YouTube channel. I want to say what up to all my new YouTube subscribers. And I was just showing Steven, we started February 22nd with 11 subscribers. Now we're up to almost right at under 1,000.
Yeah, nine, right?
Right, in less than 2 months. So I appreciate you guys showing us support. I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate the DMs. I appreciate the emails with the feedback. And we're going to take notes and we're going to actually get better and better. I got some new equipment coming in. We got a actual intro that's going to be coming in. So we get it as, perfected as we go on. It's a good looking Sunday evening.
Yeah, it's a great day outside.
Right, it's actually a great day. A lot of big people been hitting me up and calling me. We're not gonna keep you too long,
Game of Thrones comes on tonight.
Right. So it's a good Sunday. I wanted to talk to you real quick. I wanted to ask Steven a little open panel, a couple of things about entrepreneurs. And this is the thing about the show. The show is mainly the Power of Ownership. Started off as ownership of houses, investment properties, businesses, different things like that. It then evolved to more of the ownership of the mind, body, and soul. People that listen, people that tune in are mostly entrepreneurs, self-starters, people that's kind of wanting to switch from the humdrum W-2 lifestyle to becoming a 1099 or a business owner. That's kind of the bulk of my audience. But I don't want to isolate, I still have some people that tune in as W-2, that just want passive income, that just want to get a rental portfolio going on, so on and so forth. We're welcome to you as well. So, but this particular episode is kind of catered toward the bulk of my audience, which is the entrepreneurs. And we're going to be discussing a couple of key topics that a couple of entrepreneurs wrote in and wanted me to discuss. The first topic I wanted to talk about is, as an entrepreneur, we see a lot of stuff that's, planted in our community as distractions.
And those distractions are everywhere, right?
Right. So, and it causes us to become fearful. I mean, everything from advertisement to social media to the fake news stories to everything that you see, newspaper, all kind of propaganda is kind of divided and kind of fashioned to keep you in this particular mold. Yeah. And I'm going to go ahead and open the floor up to Steven and go ahead and, how do you feel about these particular distractions and how can entrepreneurs overcome them and get on the right path and walk on water and forget that fear about going out on their own and starting their own business?
Yeah, I think it has to do with what you said about the distractions, right? Mm-hmm. So the distractions are a lot of self-doubting distractions, or you want to be entertained instead of really putting the legwork it takes to actually establish yourself as an entrepreneur, right?
Right.
So what it takes baby steps, right? So first okay, well maybe instead of sitting and playing a game on my phone, maybe I should read a book like your book about how to be
better yourself,
how to be a better owner, how to better yourself in that way. I think those are two of the first steps. And once you hit that, so once you start noticing I can be doing this, I can be doing that, it all starts to get lower and lower of the distractions. Like
Right.
you stop having distractions, and then all you have left is what? Your goal, right?
Right.
Whatever your goal is, what you want it to be.
Right. I was talking to somebody yesterday. Somebody asking me, well, how do you find time to do this? How do you find time to research? How do you stay on top of your game? You know, as Masons, we're taught to divide our time into 3 separate parts. You know, one for actual, you know, sleep and refreshment, one for your vocation or your normal job, should I say, and then 8 hours is for dedication to God. And when I take dedication to God, if you look at the podcast, God is a verb. And what I use is personal responsibility is your only savior. So what I alchemize that to mean, when I internalize that to mean, is I spend my time researching on what's going to help me better my next move.
And,
So,
that's what you should always be thinking about, right?
Right. So to actually better yourself. So it's 2 things. It's discipline. There's number 1, because that's what they say. Money and muscle is the 2 hardest things to keep and earn.
Okay.
So if you have discipline and successful business go hand in hand. So you gotta have that discipline instead of, all right, hey, it's Sunday. Instead of, I want to be out and about on Lake Conroe catching the fish, but I'm in here building, getting prepared for lecture on May the 2nd, and I'm doing my podcast. We're inside right now. We're grinding.
We're working, right?
We're working on the greater good. So you gotta make choices on. Hey, you gotta ask yourself: is this gonna make me money, or how is this gonna make me money? If I go chill with my friends, how can this make me money right now?
Yeah.
How can this build my business? If the answer is it doesn't, or if it's very minimal, you might want to choose something else.
Yeah. And then one of the tricks too is like you don't want to do it for the money, right? You do it for yourself, and then the money always comes afterwards. Right.
Well, you gotta always the outcome. What will be the outcome? You know, even if it's not paid directly that day, can this result in me building to make me some money or build my business?
And it's also too it's one of the rules. Like rule number 1, you have to survive, right? You have to be able to understand. Okay, so if I do this and I do that, it's gonna keep building up to make me be successful.
Right. Correct.
And that's the main goal: to take care of yourself and your family, right?
Right. Yeah. So you got to ask yourself, and now I'm not saying that you have to become a monk and you can't have any quote unquote fun.
Yeah.
But especially if you have a fledgling business and you're just starting off, all of this is going to be there. My uncle used to always tell me, all of this, the girls are going to be there. The guys are going to be there. You know what I mean? Well, not the guys for me, but the girls are always going to be there. The fun is always going to be there. In fact, your fun is going to be amplified if you're successful.
Right? Yeah.
So taking a brief sabbatical is not a bad thing, and getting yourself together. One of my favorite MCs, E40, says, "Man, if my paper not straight, I'll hibernate."
Yeah, right. I like E40. I listen to it a lot.
Right. So I'll hibernate. Sometimes you got to hibernate, get yourself together, regather yourself, and then come back bigger and stronger than ever. Whether it be self-improvement, meditating, reading your books, researching, getting yourself together, where you start making a couple of plays, then come back. All this stuff will be here.
Yep. And then you take that next step. Okay, so now I can start actually building myself up to that business.
Correct.
Yeah.
What I wanted to touch on as far as distractions, and I want to ask one other question as well as Stephen, is that with those distractions, you got to realize that it's almost like a video game. And those distractions are like the little soldiers that keep coming at you.
Yeah, like what is that game? Call of Duty, the zombies, right?
Right. Those are the zombies that keep coming at you to keep you occupied. You got to realize what they are. If you indulge in those particular zombies, then you're going to look back and all your time has been wasted.
And then, are you a zombie at that
point?
Right.
You became, just like in the Matrix, the agent. Anybody could become the agent. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Same thing. You became that agent. You impeded your own progress. Yeah. So
self-doubt, right?
It's self-inflicted. So you got to tune those things out. Watch less TV. Get rid of the gossip stations in your, not stations, but get rid of the gossip people that you're following. Yeah. Get rid of the gossipy friends.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's important. Like get rid of the negative gossip, right? The negative energies. Like you don't need it. To start focusing.
Right. Focus on yourself. Like I said, I think Jay-Z said, You know, what Bill Cosby or Al Sharpton got to do with me?
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, get rid of all that stuff. You know, those people, you know, that you're watching on TV have already made their millions. They've already successful. You watching them at work.
Yeah.
So when are you going to get to work? When are you going to build your business, make your mark? So get rid of those distractions. You know, my next question I want to is kind of the same thing, is that how do entrepreneurs, especially with this, you know, current climate of the fake news and propaganda, how do you distinguish between what's real and what's fake?
I think it's actually one of the hardest things to do, right? Like, what is real and what is fake, and like, for me personally, what I've gone through is like, I used to be really into all getting excited for what I see on TV. Like, I'm going to go watch the news, I'm going to do this, and then I'm just repeating what I heard on the news.
Right.
I'm not actually thinking anymore.
They told you what, they gave you your talking points.
And
They told you what to think.
And I finally stopped too from that. I'm like, man, I was like, okay, so like, if I stop watching TV and start just sitting back and relaxing and thinking more and more, reading more and more, and like trying to plan out what I want to do, it actually, then you realize like, oh, it's just all noise. It's background noise. Is what it is.
Right, exactly. That's the perfect way. It's all noise that keep you preoccupied. Because once what happens is if you start thinking for yourself and start focusing on building or creating what you need to create, then you're going to be harder to control.
Yeah.
So that's the whole thing, is a lot of that stuff is planted in our community to ultimately control you. And it's your job. It's going to be the struggle to shut that out, shut out the background noise and focus on what you need to focus in order to get to where you need to go.
Yeah, it's one of the hardest things to do. Can you sit there and focus yourself away from all the distractions, right? All of the propaganda controls and things like that.
Right. One of the tips that helped me focus is meditation.
Yeah.
Because meditation is the opposite of what you think. Prayer and meditation are not the same thing. Prayer is when you're asking for something. And you're actually speeding your brain up, you're thinking. Meditation is the slowing of your thoughts.
Yeah, slowing your breathing down.
Slowing your breathing down and becoming in the moment, in the now. So it's different. And it's discipline. And it's discipline of the mind. It's like when you fast, you abstain from food. When you fast to prescribe discipline, meditation prescribes discipline for thought.
Yep. And are you a big meditator? You meditate?
Oh, every day.
So I started meditating when I was 18 years old, but I really didn't know what I was doing for a long time. It took years to practice. But
it takes years. You're not automatically good at this.
Yeah, and it's okay too. You just gotta sit down and practice it, right? That's how we get better at things.
Right.
It's like no one just goes and just boom, I have everything right now. It takes some work and the meditation of learning how to use your mind and learning how to breathe and practice it. It does take time, and it is important to understand. Like, you just have to sit there and just kind of go with it, right?
Right. Well, as you build up your mind and able to control your thoughts, now I'm able to control out the BS. I'm able to block out the BS a lot more. Like, all right, why indulge in the gossip about Beyonce when I have this to accomplish?
Yeah.
You know, so I can easily swipe that aside.
Yeah, it's not necessary.
It's not as luring to me as it once was. Now I could easily think like, all right, before I do this, let me think 5 times, before I act.
Yeah.
And so as I go on, now I'm not like a monk that's attracted to the light all of it. Now I can I can control where I want to go. So one of the things is meditation.
Yeah.
Try meditation. Try slowing down your thoughts.
Watch. There's I guess there's a couple good, like our YouTube video is probably the best way to learn how to do it.
Right. Well, I hadn't we don't teach anybody, but I'm just telling you what to do. That's we might come up with classes and stuff like that, but this is kind of just the overview. But we hadn't. You might have to find out how to meditate. We might come out with a video on how to meditate.
Yeah, it's important. Just like, I guess my best advice is just sit in like just by yourself, right? Just
dark place.
Yeah, dark place. Maybe just sit there and just breathe into it, and just close your eyes and try to think, right?
Right. Well, try not to think.
Yeah, exactly.
Picture this like a white room or whatever, and let the thoughts drown everything out, drown those bills out, drown,
Your worries.
drown your worries away. That's another thing that I don't fall asleep with worries on my mind.
Yeah.
That's why I meditate before I go to sleep. And in fact, it shows that meditation increases the melatonin and that actually helps you sleep better.
Yeah, and you can get to that REM state of sleep
A lot quicker, yeah. So meditation actually improves your life because sleep is one of the key components to good health and wellness.
Yeah, it's true.
So it all ties together.
Yeah.
One of the biggest distractions, that's a nice segue. I'm gonna kind of move through these topics real quick because, we spent a whole bunch of time on that bill. So we're gonna try to make this show about 20, 25 minutes. But one of the biggest distractions a lot of people write me about is when you're an entrepreneur and you're single, or even when you're in a relationship. How do you find that balance of trying to have a social life and trying to build a business? Or if you're in a relationship, trying to build a business while you're in a relationship. So I'm going to open that up to you.
Well, I'm single, right? I'm not in a relationship, and it doesn't bother me really that I'm single. A lot of people go out there and they're always worried about it. It's like, oh, I'm single. Like society teaches people like you have to rush into things, but you don't have to do that. I know what I'm doing is important because I'm working on managing my time to my best ability, right? So it doesn't bother. I don't fall asleep at night like worried about that kind of stuff. I'm like, I know I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm managing my time, and I'm building myself up for the future, right? And when all that comes together, then the relationships come. Then everything is falling into place how it should be.
Correct.
Right?
Well, this is the thing. You said a couple of key things in there. First of all, worrying is a form of meditation as well.
Negative.
Right. So it's a negative meditation. It's a negative prayer, so to say. When you focus on something, you're going to bring it into fruition. So people that worry about relationships, you actually force a person that's not necessarily who you need in your life. Well, everything is what you need. It's not what you need at that time for actually build. It might be on a different path, and it might be to learn something else. Because everything, it just is what it is. But when you worry about it, you're actually focusing your energy on something that might not necessarily amplify your progress.
It could slow you down.
It could actually slow you down. Same thing with couples that's already in. My advice to couples that's trying to become entrepreneurs is that I would say do everything together. And that's the only way it's going to work. Or one's going to become one's cheerleader and assistant.
And there has to be 100% honesty too,
right?
Like, there can't be any doubt.
Yeah, you can't be competing against one another. If you got somebody that and a lot of people literally sleep with the enemy. If you got a person that's a hater that you're sleeping next to, you need to cut that person off.
Negativity. Right?
Yeah, if that person doesn't believe in your goal or believe in your actual capability to create and achieve your goals, you might want to leave that person alone. That's when a true supporter comes out. If that person doesn't support you, you might want to get an exit strategy together. So it's either one of two things. If you're trying to form you're in a relationship or a current relationship right now and trying to become an entrepreneur, that person either you have to do it together, or that person has to be your assistant and cheerleader.
And which one is it?
Which one is it? If they going to sit back on the fence and watch you try to build it by yourself, you don't need that person.
Yeah.
Cut that person off. Fence riders, get them out of your cycle.
And the world is built on power couples. Actually, a lot of the most famous people in the world, they always do their things together. They might be doing different things, in different occupations, but when it comes to the bottom line, they're in it to win. They're doing everything together.
Right.
They might not be there in the same space, but everything is that they're doing.
Synchronicity.
It's
right.
Peace and harmony.
Right. Harmony. Harmony is the key of the day. If you don't have harmony within your own household, you might want to reevaluate your situation.
Yeah, and it's a lot of people. Our society teaches us we have to go and do these things. Oh, we have to go to college. We have to go and do this, and we have to go get married and have 3 kids or whatever. They tell us what to do, but
2.5 kids.
Right. And but that's just not the case. It's you can do everything is done when it's supposed to be done, I guess. And
Right.
it's like you don't have to go rush because all your friends are rushing to do all this, or you don't have to go and do these things. That's part of the negative connotations that you're trying to actually run away instead of looking
Right.
into that personal self.
Well, that's the thing. Like, so a lot of people fall victim onto what society teaches you, and do things instead of internalizing it and becoming your own person. They fall victim and they want to fit into what society tells you that is cool, what society tells you that is normal.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And the true creators, the true visionaries, they don't fit in a box. They stick out like a sore thumb.
And sometimes those people will be called crazy, right?
Right. And you can't be afraid of that. You got to be able to be your own woman or be on your own man and stand on your own too. If you're in a relationship, that y'all have to be as one. If not, if you got people on two separate accords, you got to cut that loose. But back to the single entrepreneur, I'm single as well. My game plan is to actually create, and then if somebody comes into it. If a woman is manifesting herself, a woman manifests herself. I'm perfectly content with building my particular business. I said this on 8 yesterday, Saturday, that I'm married to the business. I'm committed to building my business up. That is the first wife. Now, if I want to take on a second wife to help me facilitate the first wife, that's fine. But
I see what you did there. Is that story we've been told over and over and again?
Right. So that's the first wife right there. You know, so that's my game plan. Now, people that's not like me, all right, I think, well, let me say this before I even get into that. Just like I said earlier, I think society tells you that you have to be in a relationship.
I think so too. They push it hard.
They push it hard. You know, they push love songs on all the radio stations. They push everything coupled.
The Bachelor.
They push everything coupled. Sex, we over sexualize, we over couplelize, they push you into a marriage. And the reason why, because statistics show that married people are more able to be controlled. You're gonna do what you gotta do to keep your job. Mm-hmm. You're gonna pay your taxes. You're gonna do what you do to stay out of jail. Mm-hmm. So you're gonna be less rebellious. Yeah. That's why they put you in that box of getting married and forming this family to perpetuate this system.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does.
So that's why they pump marriage so hard. So yes, I understand. Some people, hey, I need the marriage. That's fine. If you got to be in a couple, my thing is to find somebody that's going to help you and encourage you to do your goal.
To be your best.
To be your best. Yeah. If you got somebody that's trying to compete against you and talk down and murder mouth you and do all the negative things, you might want to, I don't care how good she looks or vice versa, if it's a girl looking for a guy, get out of the physical. Start looking past the physical and start looking into the mental and the spiritual. Yep. Because you can't, all those looks will fade.
Yep, it always does, right?
You know, so look past that and get to somebody that's going to help you with your business.
Yeah. And overall, it's like the business of yourself, too, right?
Right. And maintain yourself. Because family is business.
Yeah, it is.
Whether you like it or not, family is business. It's a contract.
And then to find that special person in your life, we call that over here a unicorn, you know?
Right.
Yeah. It's rare, but they're out there, you know?
Right. The last topic, and I want to get to, and we'll get in and out today, is as far as entrepreneurs, when you're just starting your business, what do you want to? What's some of the pros and cons, and what are some of the things you need to look for as far as your purpose? Like, say for example, I got people that they know they want to do something. Well, I don't know what I want to do. What's the easiest way to find your purpose or find that product, find what you want to do out of your life? What do you want to create?
I think that's one of the hardest questions to actually ask, right? It's like, right. What do we want to build? Like, what business do we want to start? And my best advice would be, is just what makes you happy, right? Like, what do you want to do? Like, and why, and the second question would be like, why are you going to be doing this? Like, so I guess, like, what do I want? What makes me happy? And why do I want to do it? Whatever makes me happy, is that because of the desire of what I want, or is that truly, am I trying to be better person in a way to try to expand that business, I guess.
Right,
But I think it hands in hands. Like, to be successful, you have to be creating the success around you, right?
Right.
And so, if you're building a business that's not making you happy, why
do it?
Why do it, right?
Right. Well, my thing is twofold. First thing first, you got to go within. I say this every week almost. You got to go within. Once you tap in online, meaning that once you get connected to the Most High, it kind of reveals itself. It's going to kind of come to you what you need to do. Also, I don't know, family, if you ever thought about it, look at the words. I'm a big study of etymology and breaking down the nucleus of words. Look at the word genius. Genes, your DNA.
Is that Kendrick Lamar's song?
It's not, but genius is that those who took advantage of unlocking their genes and making it become reality and becoming a visionary and above, bigger than life character in their space.
Mm-hmm. I think that the last part of that word, I is us, ourselves, and
Gene in us.
Yeah, and us, or IUS. Right. IUS in Greek is actually the word law, right?
Gene law, Gotcha. So I would think is that something innately within you, go within yourself, find out exactly what do you do the best. Mm-hmm. And we was talking in our bill, it was like, well, how do I think, in past lives I was an author because it's so easy for me to write. Mm-hmm. I write syllabus and I wrote that book in like 2 weeks. Yeah. I'm damn near finished a 300, it's going to be probably 350, 400 page book in like a month.
And it just came to you.
Just comes to me.
It's just like that easy, huh?
So you got to monopolize and capitalize on your genes. What are you good at?
Yeah. And then that goes back to the meditation side of things too. Like
right.
Once you start focusing on how to meditate,
right.
those things actually come in because then you're just not thinking anymore,
right? You're tapping in. Right. You're tapping in and doing and actually being proactive by doing the meditation. Now you're becoming reactive by what you're actually sent in the messages that you're sent to do. Mm-hmm. So exactly. it all kind of goes together. The last piece of advice I would say as far as purpose is that really get analytical and find something that not only nobody else is willing to do, but nobody else has thought of. Mm-hmm. Remember, alchemy is when you take something, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, combine it together and create something new. Look at 50 Cent with vitamin water. It wasn't quite Gatorade, wasn't quite water. It was water with vitamins and stuff. Right. And he created a whole nother category. So, and I tell people this all the time, I tell them on the apes all the time, is that if you're working a job, look at what your job is doing. If you're a janitor, if you're a food server or whatever, take it what they're doing, meditate, go in and put a twist on it. How can I do this a little bit better? Yep. And then create your own.
And that's one of the goals, right? What we should be striving for every day is to be a little bit better than the last.
Right. And that's true alchemy. And we all build upon, instead of accepting the status quo. All right, I'm going to be a servant for the rest of my life.
And then I'm going to watch sports all day and sit on the couch eating popcorn,
right? Right. Let me all right, I got 20 years as a server. I know all the ins and outs of the food business. Let me take, this and go get a small business. Let me have that B and get a loan and get, a space to get a restaurant, a commercial space to get a restaurant or something to that effect. Yeah. And let me get my own.
And then some people watching the video, you'll probably ask well, you need money to start a business.
Right.
And it is true, you do need money to start a business, but it's not going to stop you from getting your business.
Right.
You have to understand that, if you have the idea of your business, you have to just go with it, and the money always comes. You won't understand how the money comes, but it'll be there, right?
Right. Well, this is the thing. That's what I always teach, and that's what I always preach, that money is strictly energy transference. You are money. The notes that we have that we perceive as valuable are really worthless. Yeah, so it's not backed by anything. So we just perceiving it as such. But you are the money. The planet already has infinite amount of energy. Can you harness this energy? Yeah. That's all it's about. The planet has money. Are you going to get yours? Mm-hmm.
and everyone can. I laugh because it's really easy, right?
Right. If you think about it, the planet's never going to run out of resources.
It's just like you have to be able to put the time into it. You have to want it. You have to want that business.
You have to you're not going to, first of all, you can't conquer everything. Find your slice. Maximize your slice, and then that slice will get bigger.
Yeah.
Find that little bitty angle that can become yours. If, like say, if you're a janitor, for 20 plus years. All right, I know all the cleaning products. I know all the ins and outs. Let me just go ahead and start my own janitorial service. Let me start off with 1 contract, 2 contracts, and then work up from there on the side. Build your business up on the side. It takes 15 minutes to go get a DBA in the courthouse. If you want to learn how to do all this, call me up and I'll walk you through how to become a business owner. This is real simple.
Yeah.
Take what you already know. You were on this job for this many years for a purpose. You have a tremendous amount of knowledge about this particular space. Use that knowledge and then alchemize it and make it become your own.
Yeah, and never doubt yourself either.
Right.
It's like that's one of the key components. And that's part of the meditation, the distractions. You
Right.
have to.
Right.
You have to. It's all full circle, right?
Everything we're talking about relates to one topic, and this is what we're trying to do on the Power of Ownership podcast. I'm trying to reprogram the mind. I'm trying to create as many entrepreneurs as possible. Try to create and make ownership cool. Try to make self-preservation in our community cool. Try to make giving, creating jobs a cool thing, and taking our particular community, getting them off the bottom of the socioeconomic totem pole and bringing them to the top. And we're going to only do that by ownership.
Ownership, yep.
And making ownership cool, not just becoming renters or employees. We're going to have to take ownership, and not only just ownership, and it all starts with ownership of myself.
Yeah, always yourself.
Right. It all starts with that. So I'm not going to keep y'all too long, family. Any last words, anything you want to?
Yeah, for people who are interested, on May 18th, give me 1 second, I'm pulling up real quick. Hold on, let's see.
And it's open to the public, right?
Yeah, it's open to the public.
Gotcha.
So on May 18th, my Masonic Lodge, Billionaire Lodge 1336, we are giving a Community Builder Award, which is like representing or acknowledging someone in the community for their great work to help the community be better, like a lot of like charity work. And ours on the 18th is with Camp Hope and Michael Berry. His foundation is help soldiers coming from war that have PTSD and kind of like give them hope and try to, I guess, fix them, kind of like what we do with reprogramming them back into society.
Right.
And they do really good work, and we're going to be giving an award to him on May 18th. It starts at 5 o'clock at the Houston Scottish Rite building downtown. If you guys are
What's the address to that?
Address is 2401 West Belford Avenue, Houston, Texas, 77054. And if you guys are interested, just contact me on Facebook, Stephen Contreras, or on Instagram, same thing, Stephen Contreras. And just reach out. Tickets are going for $100 each. But it comes with like a great meal. It's like a networking event. You can meet cool people there too, and get out the word of like how Camp Hope helps bring PTSD into the forefront of society. So.
Great. That's a great thing that if you want to network and start your business, great networking event. Again, people that think that you're going to automatically start a business with no money and not investing, it's a fallacy. You got to make a deposit before you make a withdrawal. I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go for this Sunday, this beautiful Sunday. Remember that God is a verb and personal responsibility is your only savior. With that, I'm going to say peace.
Yeah, peace.